It is Wednesday, the 25th day of January, 2023. Bad news. The broadcast palace is still entirely in the dark. Not quite frozen solid yet, but I'm sure it will be soon. I got a water bottle here that's still liquefied, so that's a good sign, which means all the booze is just cold, not frozen, which is not ideal. Yeah, so, shed a tear for me, right? Hopefully, by the time you hear this, things will be up and running and functioning and, you know, the way that they should be. I don't know. We'll see. Um, Anywho, so that just means that this week's episode is going to be a tad truncated, but not really, because fear not. I have content. Not just content, but dynamite content. I am super thrilled to be joined this week by uh, Bobby Washburn, Donny Washburn, of the Quiet Violent. We talk about a number of different things, including the Boston music scene. Uh, what's going on. Bobby's kind enough to tell a multitude of stories, all of them very good. So it's nice to uh, have some entertaining shit on my program. And I just realized I've said like 8 times already. Fuck off, man. I'm so bad. What am I doing? He also talks about we talk about Boston Calling, which of course is something that needs to be talked about just because I find it interesting. He talks about all the bands that he's in. He uses the phrase "caress the dicks," which I found very funny. So funny I had to write down. And then a special shout out to Jake. Hurry up, Jake, and fucking finish mixing the EP. It'd be terrific if you could do that. So, without further ado, and actually, now that I think about it, before I get into that, I don't even think I'm going to do a three gripes just because I'm fucking freezing cold here. This is stupid. Sitting in the dark fucking studio. Studio? Oh, you self important moron. It's funny, I was listening to the Carnival Personnel podcast, which I've talked about on the show a couple times, and Jacques was nice enough to talk about my show for some weird ass reason. But the description he gave of me was very funny in that I'm, you know, both entirely self-aware and and far too confident to be doing this shit. And I thought it was rather apt. So shout out to Jacques and the Carnival Personnel podcast. Jacques, Biff, Joe, gentlemen. Thanks for listening to my crap. Still not sure why. Anyways, so without any more ado, here is the interview with Donny and Bobby of the Quiet Violent. You also get the pseudo world premiere of one of their new songs called Tragedy, which is very good if you're into the old pop punk. It's funny, I'm not a big pop punk guy, but maybe it's just because I know people in the band. I don't think it's bad. Plus, it really reminds me the sound is reminiscent of just just mid 2000s, not a care in the world, kind of mid to late 2000s, I say. It's a good time. It's a good time to be alive, I think. So anyways, here's Bobby and Donny, Quiet Violent. um Wait a minute, what the fuck, I haven't even done the intro. Oh fuck.
Still, the most less than average podcast on the internet. With a host who's the smartest person in the room when he's the only one there. A continuing odyssey into mediocrity. Guaranteed to make you question your life choices and your own sanity. This is Complaints and Observations with Dave LaPointe. Who the hell is Dave LaPointe?
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
All right, let's try that again. I don't know how my own show is structured. Fucking hell, dude. All right, so yeah. Here's Bobby and Donny from The Quiet Violent. Check it out. I am beyond thrilled to finally have on this awful fucking podcast two men who have come into my life and graced me with such joy and made the beginning of my show probably the best part of my show. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Bobby Washburn, Donny Washburn, Quiet Violent.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here.
Glad to be here, Dave.
You're gonna edit in some applause. That'd be good.
Nope, that was it. That's all you get. All right. Right from the top, I just need to. I think I've thanked Donny about 1 billion times for allowing me to use some of your music on my show. So I'm going to extend that thank you to you as well, Bobby. You probably had no idea, how shitty my show actually was when Donny probably suggested, hey, a friend of mine has a podcast, and that was probably the end of the conversation. So there you go.
I can actually tell you there. The first time I put that on your radar was on 3/11/2020, I believe it was. And you started out with this 3/11 monologue that was epic. I was like, Bobby, you gotta hear this right now. He even has a friend named Rob. As Bobby.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Rob
Yeah.
Listen to 3/11 together.
Investigate 3/11.
3/11 was an inside job.
It wasn't his job. No, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I suggested, Donny, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I was like, wait, do you think he needs a theme song?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was like, listen to this intro. Yeah.
Well,
so then I've been thanking the wrong guy the whole time.
Well, so a long time. Don't thank me yet. So a long time ago, I used to listen to the Bill Burr podcast, and I was like, this motherfucker has no theme song. He just fires up his laptop from a hotel room, and I'm like, so I emailed him like, hey, fucking theme song or anything? I got no reply. So
you were so close.
I was so close.
And even the guy that recorded Marin's intro, he actually documented that whole process, and Marin responded to him, which is pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. John Montana is his name.
Yeah, there's a whole video of him recording it and shit too. It's pretty cool.
And the stuff he uses is hilarious.
Like a baby xylophone and shit.
Yeah.
No kidding. All right. I will look into that. All right. So I the real basis for having you guys on is Bobby had mentioned at one point in a random Instagram conversation that he wanted to rail against the Boston music scene, and I think it's a very tried and true sort of complaint. The Boston music scene has been, as someone who is definitely on the outside and probably outside of the periphery and myself, it's like I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I do know that it's not great. So I'm hoping to get a bit more insight from the two of you as to, one, your thoughts, not so much complaints, but your observations basically of the Boston music scene, and then the complaints. I'm so curious as to what both of you think the state of the scene is right now, post-COVID in Boston.
I mean, you have Donny goes to shows. He goes to a shitload of them. I, have the other perspective of haven't played a show in quite a while, but I would say probably 6 years or so. But but it two different perspectives is is pretty nice to have, I guess. But it's been like, is the funny thing is that I will share my opinion, but it's kind of one of those things. It's like you don't know. It's kind of like the Illuminati, the Vanyaland phenomenon.
Okay.
It's like some skull and bones shit that I can't penetrate, and I fucking don't get it. You know, there's every year at the Boston Music Awards, which I I can't figure out. Every year I think best blog goes to Vanyaland, the host of the fucking show.
The host of the whole show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there another blog though?
There's
I've
Alston
always wondered
Pudding.
that. Oh, okay.
Checks notes.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. There's Alston Pudding. Look at this. There's things out there. There's complaints and look at there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But as far as the scene goes, my I feel so limited in what I can express in what because I don't understand. I've been in the scene for a long time, and I feel like the Pete Best,
Hey.
if you will. This might be the tequila talking, but like you look at the Boston Music Awards and you see, you know, the Aerosmith will win an award. They don't fucking
Right. They don't count anymore. They've left. They're gone.
Yeah.
They don't count.
Yeah. It just seems a bit clicky and then kiss assy at the same time.
Oh,
If you
okay.
catch my
That's
drift.
interesting. Yeah.
And these words that I'm speaking will make it so that I am further I'm excommunicated as it is from these award shows. I've never been invited, and I don't expect to be invited, so I really don't give a shit. I think that they're a fucking joke.
Bad news. The people that run the show listen to my show, so now they're gonna hate you.
So
That's
I
not true at all.
Let's
Totally
rewind.
lying.
Wait,
Yeah.
is this live? Is this live? Can we...
So now, like the
no,
flip side, then, Donnie, as someone who goes through a lot of shows, I'm curious what your take might be. Obviously, it's as a fan, and then obviously as someone who is making music. I'm kind of curious what your perspective would be.
For sure. I'm definitely going to as many as I can. Really, I guess on the positive note, what I really love about Boston and is the amount of venues that we have right now. I mean, in the last couple of years, we've gotten Big Night Live, which is a great room. Expensive, but it sounds great. And MGM
expensive.
Yeah,
MGM expensive.
The Roadrunners and these are awesome rooms, right? And these people they're coming through. I mean, like I definitely complained about it before, especially the whole like you buy water in there for $6. Like, geez, like that sucks. But really just like staying up on them and like knowing who's coming through. But as far as the smaller stuff goes, I think it feels like a fluke. As far as some of the bands that have come out and seeing some of these local bands that actually made it onto the Boston Calling lineup in the lower text bands, if you call them. The Q-Tip Bandits being one.
Paper Tigers. Go ahead.
Actually, I don't know them yet. I know of them, but I haven't listened to them.
Yeah.
I've heard of them. I know nothing of them.
When I was before we Man Against Mars, one of my other bands. We were it's just me and my singer, so like I'll do all the writing of like this. I'll build the track, write the song, and then my singer will do his part and then send me the vocals. I'll mix it. Song.
Yeah.
So we were trying to find after we went and recorded a 3-song EP with this a friend of ours, excellent producer, excellent musician, name was Corey Paza. He's he made the record sound great, and we were looking for a drummer, a band really, and
Mm.
the drummer for Paper, because every drummer in the scene is in like 3 bands. So this
Sure.
dude who's in Paper Tigers was like, "Yeah, let's. I'm interested." So we sent him one of our songs, interestingly enough, called Paper Hearts. We were like, "Send us a video of you playing it." You know, it's easier than like going and like jamming and finding out that he sucks or whatever. He
Right.
like he's like, so just I made a video, here it is. You know, I didn't really like what was going on with the beats and stuff, so like I changed some things. And then we watched the video and it fucking sucked. And we were like, you that's not how it's written. I don't bastardize my shit. And then we listened to
Yeah.
his band and I was like, sounds like Blue October, but
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
like light Blue October.
light blue October.
Baby Blue
Okay.
October.
Yeah, like baby Blue October. I don't know.
Baby blue October.
It was
Oh, we're
fucking,
just riffing
and then
now.
we
Love
see
it.
this shit. Then we see this shit on day 3 of Boston Calling last year, and 2 hours or 3 hours ahead of Metallica. I think they're on the one this year too. It's like, how the brings you back to the thing. How the fuck are these bands getting these shows?
I'd love to know the answer to that.
You can
So
I'd
you
love
can
to know.
you can bleep out the name of the band I just mentioned, but it's
Fuck
funny.
no.
Like fuck them. Like why is
Paper
that?
Tigers. Fuck you.
Good, actually, a good guy to have in connection.
That's the thing. It's so
Re-
clicky. The scene is a click.
I reconnected with a friend who I was a camp counselor with over at the Foxborough YMCA, who is a manager who
Wow,
got
deep cuts, dude. Big shout out.
I know,
you're right,
huh?
CITs.
Damn.
And yeah, he's like managing a few bands right now. He had an artist on last year's bill, a rapper named Oompa, and this year's band Blue Light Bandits made it on the bill, which I was super pumped for him. But like that kind of gives me a little bit of hope, and people kind of bringing up bands and getting them,
Gotta have more respect for
some
the
good
managers.
shows. Yeah, exactly.
Honestly,
People who
like,
want to actually create this role for artists and
yeah.
and themselves, I'm sure.
No, but they're hustling
Definitely.
and
Yeah.
pushing these bands. It's like, but just like look beyond the click and beyond who's telling you to like, oh yeah, well this band, well I'm looking, this is my friend over here in this band. There's some fucking weird experimental. Like, come on, like look beyond the click. Look beyond this Vanyaland,
Shit.
the
You can
Cambridge
say it.
scene. Yeah,
Oh, fuck it.
it's kind of bullshit, and it's made me lose faith in like. Plus, like, how many fucking local shows are going on right now that people actually are going to? Like, you don't hear about this shit anymore. Like when
That's what I'm
How
wondering.
many, Donny?
I all I can think of is like for a small show was like O'Brien's, right? To catch like a metal
exactly,
show. They have a scene. And then there is So Far, which is pretty cool. And that whole concept is where you pay like $25 or so, and then they tell you the location, the actual address of the place an hour before the show, and everyone goes there. It could be at like an empty office space. It could be in the high rise of some fucking professor
rock
from
rave.
Harvard's.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
like
No shit.
apartment. Yeah, it's really cool. So I've only been to one, and that's where I actually found that band, Q-Tip Bandits, I
They'll
mentioned
play in the
earlier
back of
on
a
the bill.
Dunkin' Donuts in fucking Charlestown.
But they have them all over the place too. They have like this goes throughout New York all the way to Germany. So this is a pretty big thing. And it's a way. It's just a way to catch shows and like some local artists who are like just trying to get their start, or maybe it's the first time they're playing. But I've been to one and it was pretty cool.
I'm just really always envious of. Go ahead.
No, fine. Go ahead.
I'm envious of like other cities that have a better scene and have for a long time. New York is
I'm envious
piece
of
of
New York.
shit. New York's a pile of trash, but the music scene is great down there.
It's because it's a pile of trash.
It's because I guess so. If you got nothing else, dig
It
through
just
some trash,
breeds
listen to some
anger.
bands.
You make good music. That's typically how it goes.
Yeah.
You're coming from
Donny, you
the
mentioned like
VFW, so
well, there you go.
Yeah.
You mentioned the new venues, and I think it's kind of come at the expense of some of the the old divey places that used to bring in the smaller bands on like a Tuesday night.
Great Scott. That's the first place that came to mind. The place
Great
was the
Scott
best.
was, yeah.
Great Scott
But
was
even
awesome.
Even the shit on fucking what the hell's the name of the street? Not Boylston Street. Behind Fenway, where fucking Bill's Bar used to be.
Oh,
Lansdowne. Yeah.
Lansdowne. All those bars on Lansdowne
I used to
back in
play
the
Bill's Bar
day.
all the time, and it was awesome. Well, wait, let me. So Bill's Bar was a great place to play, but there used to be this thing, this phenomenon, if you will, in around 2010-ish, called there were two things. One was called Throwed, and one was called Paper, and they were both the same concepts, probably run by the same fucking people. They probably run Vinyl Lane by now, but we're gonna have like 3 local bands, and then after that, around 11 o'clock, it's gonna be DJs.
Oh no.
So, and this happened in Boston. This happened in Providence. But one time we're playing at Bill's Bar. It was one of them, Paper Throwed.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Some pretentious, like, one word, like some arbitrary thing. Let's have an event called fucking Speaker. So we played this show before the band started. There was a I guess an art installment. It was just in front of the stage at Bill's Bar. There was just a bunch of plastic laid down, and just a bunch of fucking Cambridge ass like pseudo hippies just painting each other and shit.
Oh, come on. What? I don't like any of this done.
It wasn't even
Bobby,
sexy. It wasn't sexy at all. It wasn't even.
Just sucked.
It just sucked. So once they clean up the bullshit, we play. 2 bands play, then we play, and then we break down our shit. We get all that stuff. Now we have like Bill's Bar was a hallway basically. Like if you remember,
Tiny.
like it was
Mhm.
it was about 15 by 160.
Yeah.
And so we're on the side, like basically our like quote unquote merch table, and we have all our shit. We've loaded most of the stuff out, and it's just kind of our jackets and some merch that we're trying to sell of it. By now, the riffraff has, infiltrated the establishment, and it's and not the
different crowd.
Different scene. Not the people we were playing for. They've all left, and I remember like the girlfriends of the other guys in the band were all like dancing in a circle right in front of us. And there's
Jesus.
There's this guy who's like just kind of he's got 2 high lifes in his hand like this above his head, and he's kind of like moving to the music and doing like I'm totally part of the circle, right? And he just casually, and might I add gracefully, hands off a high life to my drummer's girlfriend, his now wife. And she just takes it and goes, yeah. And I fucking dove across the table and grabbed. She took one little sip off it, and I grabbed it out of her hand. The dude didn't see me do this, but I took it out of his hand. He's now hovering, thinking that she still had it. He's like looking at her. Does she still have the hand? Where'd the fucking highlight go? Fast forward to about an hour later, I got my jacket stolen. My keys were in the jacket. We're all stuffed into the van we came in. Fucking that chick's getting sick because she, had like a milligram of
sip of roofie juice.
Yeah, just a tip of roofie, and
yeah,
I was like,
fucking hell,
guys, we're never playing this shit again. This fucking scene is going down the fucking toilet, and I don't want any part of this shit. Yeah, all inclusive, super cool.
2023. Yeah, now we're 13 years later or so, and you're still talking about this particular event.
And it was traumatizing.
The shitty scene that you can't stand.
I mean, that's a lot of places now too. I mean, like Royale, like they'll have like rock shows, and then 11 o'clock, everyone's walking out, and there's a huge line of people in leather.
I went to see years ago. My buddies and I were going to see Megadeth at Avalon, and we're all tickets like, oh, show starts at 6:30, and we're thinking there's probably like 4 or 5 bands before them, whatever. So we're all we go, we're hanging out, drinking beers, having dinner, whatever. And then finally, I don't know, like 8 o'clock or so, one of the guys is like, oh, I'm gonna go over there now. The ticket says the show starts at 7. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong? You ever been to a goddamn concert before? So eventually we make our way to the Avalon, and there's a giant line of people out front. We're like, what the fuck is this? And it's all these motherfuckers that are waiting to get in for the DJ. So I'm like, oh shit.
But
We
still
go
have a
into the
full set
Avalon.
of Megadeth to wait,
Isn't that
basically.
weird?
Yeah.
We happened to get in for the encore, and that was it. And so we got show's over 15 minutes after we walked in the door to let all the fucking Euro trash walk in for the fucking DJ.
For the
Oh, I
DJ.
was so mad. So
Disappointing.
fucking mad.
I just think that maybe, so we touched on the fact that like managers and things they're doing their job as far back as I can remember, like, early 2000s, man. Like promoters are dog shit. They're not doing their fucking job, and they've never done their job. They're really piss poor at like promoting the fucking show. Like, you've heard of pay to play?
Oh yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that? Oh, you want to get on a show? Yes, we'd like to get on a show. We're a band. We'd like to.
Right.
Okay, so you need to sell 100 tickets. No, you fucking sell 100 tickets. What are you talking about?
That's not
your
how this
fucking
works.
job. My job is play the fucking guitar. Your job, sell tickets. What else do you think? Your job is to email a band to go, hey, you want to go to a building? Yes, we'd like to
Anybody
go to
can
the
do that.
building. Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Right.
yeah, they've been failing. I think that if we could zero in on this bitch fest that I'm having right now is the fact that the promoters have been absolute trash for the longest time, as
Well, I
long
mean,
as I can remember.
that's I would imagine since the dawn of live music, promoters have been
Well, yeah,
dog shit.
but like when you're in a scene like Boston that's so small, and you kind of want to caress the dicks of like the bands in the clique. You're not trying to be all inclusive and be like, let's build this scene up. You're like, well, I'm in it for myself as a promoter. Let's blow this band and like, get in with them. And there's like, well, they have this weird little cult following in, Union Square, and we can bring some weirdos from some art collective. And that's, you think you've done your job. But no,
Right.
like you want to
Yeah.
set up a show at fucking Bill's Bar or something, or TT the Bears. Like I've played so many
TTs.
shows at, yeah, exactly. I've played so many shows at like Middle East,
Yeah. Oh,
but
there's another. Jeez.
those are like the best shows that I've played in like Cambridge, because
Those were fun shows. Those
they
are
were
the shows
fun.
that I
Upstairs
would
and
go
down.
to when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, but when was the last
All
time
right.
you've been to a sick show in Middle East?
Oh, who the fuck knows? I can't even remember the last time I went to the Middle East. Never mind to a good show at the Middle East.
Good burgers though.
I read a story the other day that the Sound Museum in Alston is closing, and I found that very interesting, just because a ton of bands that play in the city, that's typically where they would practice, and now they're being booted and have pretty much no place to go.
We
So
tried to get in there.
It's kind of like
Did
a
ya?
place in
Got the deny.
Cambridge. Yeah.
there's a place in Canada. I don't know that one.
No, the place in EMF.
Never heard of
I
it.
think it is. It was a place in like Cambridgeport. It was right outside Central Square, and
Okay.
it was another little practice spot. And there was,
Mhm.
I think there was recording capabilities, probably some podcasts coming out of there. I could be talking on my ass, but
Sure.
they shut that down to open up some other bullshit that was
Yeah.
not music.
And that's
related.
pretty much, I guess, the guy that owns the Sound Museum, the building, basically gave everybody like 3 weeks to get out.
Yeah.
So something like that. I mean, it should then we expect almost a further regression now that one of the only places, really one of the few
Well-
places in the city that these bands can actually get together and practice and play.
I mean, yes and no. So that's part of the problem, is that people are shutting these places down. There was a place by Stop and Shop over in Brighton, down the
Mhm.
street from me over here. That was a
Yep.
that was a spot that got closed down. The place I just talked about in Cambridge, that got closed down. Sound Museum closed down. Jam Spot closed down. You're not fostering the creativity to even have a scene. It starts
Mm.
with giving someone a place to do this shit. There's
Right.
there's the place in right down on the old the methadone mile there, right on Mass and Cass, called the Record Company, and
Oh.
I love this place.
Hmm.
I've gone there to have like full rehearsal. I've gone there to record like just like demos and vocals and shit. You super cheap to rent a room for a couple hours, different size rooms, different capabilities, some for just recording, some for live, rehearsal and shit. And it's beautiful, it's clean, it's secure, which is key
Hmm.
in that area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's a wonderful place, and so there's that, but they're also in light of um the spot closing. What was it called? You talked about it.
Sound Museum.
Yeah,
Sound museum.
they're opening up the one in talking about opening up something in Brighton down by IHOP, I think it is,
Oh,
or down
geez,
off
Oh, by
really?
Soldier
down off
Field.
at the end of North Beacon or something like that. So like they're trying to open up something else, which is great. But the kind of the bottom line is that like you keep closing these spots. It's kind of like when you defund like a school and their fucking music program goes first. Like
And then people will wonder, like, how come
yeah,
nobody plays an instrument here?
oh, because you cut the fucking legs off it. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking? What do you mean?
Mm,
So that's kind of part of the problem. But I guess you find other ways. But you get a lot of
yeah.
people who are just recording shit in their house, and then where do you rehearse? Where do you play? Where are the shows? There's none.
It's just, I mean, obviously, you mentioned recording your house. It just becomes so easy to record at home. I wonder if that's, a better path for people who want to get out and actually play music.
It's I love. I'm sitting in my setup right now. It's
Mhm.
awesome. I love what I have here going on. It's easy for me to like bust out song ideas and even complete them. Like my Man Against Mars right here on my shirt.
Mhm.
We just released a song the other day. It's on Spotify. It's on Amazon. It's on everywhere you get music. Recorded it right here at this desk, and it
Yeah.
sounds huge.
Fantastic,
Sounds
probably. All
amazing.
right.
Um,
Hmm.
it's called it's the band the band is Man Against Mars. If I can do a plug here,
Good plug. Yep.
Yep.
quick
Yep.
plug. I mean
Free ad,
we're gonna plug everything. But
as you should.
the song's called New Direction, and it's by Man Against Mars, one of my many bands that I have going on. But
How many bands do you have going on?
so I'm playing drums in the Quiet Violent, a band that I started while I was singing and playing guitar, and then decided to make the shift because that was just what needed to happen, I guess. I got Man Against Mars, where I'm, you know, playing everything,
Mhm.
including doing backing vocals, and then my singer Brian Roy, amazing lyricist and singer, he's doing the other half of the important shit. Um, I'm in The Keeping, which has been my band since 2010. Big
Oh,
long
wow.
hiatus, and big huge hiatus, and then
Yeah,
in
yeah,
20
me
like
too. I've been in a band since 1999, but we've been on a hiatus since
1999.
2000 and 2002.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it happens. But see, you get bored, and then I was like, guys, we got these unreleased songs. Let's just release them.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, that's pretty cool. Let's do some more. So we keep doing more. So now
Do you
it's
keep doing
active
more?
again. Yeah. So
Lucky,
we
lucky
have
you.
songs coming out. Hopefully in about 4 months, depending on who does or does not have a kid and takes up that time.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Donnie never have children. Bobby, do you have children?
No, I have 2 cats.
There you go. See, that's the way to go. Donnie's got a hedgehog. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. See,
Cats and
cats and
random
hogs.
weird animals like hedgehogs. That's the way to go.
Exotic pets.
Exotic. It's very exotic. All right. Um, I would like to know specifically from both of you. Goals for the band, right? Obviously, Bobby, you've got 12 bands going at one time. So I don't know if Donnie has 12 bands going at one time as well, but I'm very curious as to, just because the stuff that you have put out, I thoroughly enjoy. So I'm curious as to, you know, the direction, the goals. Will you guys ever play a live show that I could actually see? That sort of thing.
I think
From what you hear now is totally different than what's about to be released.
Yeah,
We'll say.
actually,
Oh.
we'll probably have a different theme song for you coming out. We have
Ooh, good.
we
I
have
can
like
transition to season 4 with a new
beautiful.
theme song.
We have
Love
like
it.
6. We have 6 songs that are coming out. We're trying to mix them.
6.
It's a real fucking yeah.
Fucking
Um,
A.
and they're actually they're really good. They sound really good. We're really proud of them. They're just taking a long time to like finish mixing them.
Yes.
We
Yes, they
decided to
are.
ask our friend Jake to do them. He's a really busy man, so we're all busy.
Does
It
Jake
just
have
takes
kids?
no. Jake has a cat and a dog.
Oh, it's the fucking dog then.
I blame the dog,
There you go.
but
I love to hear that. That's awesome that you're
so
pumped for the tunes, and
I'm
they're
really pumped. They're
different.
gonna sound great.
Yeah.
And this is my first time playing drums on a
Yeah, it's
recording.
totally different lineup than the
This
last
is Donnie's
song
first
too.
time
Oh.
like releasing some shit, being a bass player in a band.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think out of all the projects that I have going personally, Quiet Violent is probably the one that has the most potential to actually play a show.
Oh, all right. Glad to hear it.
I know that singer Brian really wants to.
Mhm.
I know that Donnie. I know you played Porch Fest, but not like a build.
Yeah, I was playing
Yeah.
like cover songs.
Yeah.
I'd
Mhm.
play for friends and stuff, and we'll jam, but nothing where we're on the marquee per se.
Yeah.
There you go.
And,
There you
and
go.
the thing is that when I go think about this, I'm like, what the fuck would we O'Brien's? Like
Yeah.
that
Well,
you know what
I
I
was
mean?
thinking when you were talking earlier about the scene, like what was the place that you played with where, like a group of us went down. It was like was it church or something, or it was called something
Church.
church?
That
That's
place
what
is
it
gone.
was.
Yeah. On Kilmarnock down by Fenway a little bit. Yeah, that place is close. It's gone. Keep closing
What about
closing the venues that local bands play, and then you just open up big
Yeah,
venues where everybody can
exactly.
play.
Back in the day, there was always like the shows that the band would rent the hall and then sell tickets at the the random church hall, or like Donnie mentioned, the VFW,
Yeah.
shit like that.
Churches, Elks Lodges.
Yeah,
Knights of
Elks Lodges.
Columbus.
There's another one.
Knights
Yep,
of
the
Columbus.
KFC. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a hilarious guy doing like memes where he's like the lead singer of the band saying like,
He's in a
"Hey,
basement
like
show.
thanks for
Hey,
coming out to Kevin's basement tonight. Like,
There's a couple of half-smoked cigarettes in the back if you guys are interested.
we're Nickelodeon's Danny Phantom of the Opera." Like, it's great. That guy's the man.
That's awesome.
Dude, it
Oh, I
fucking
love
brings me
that.
back. I was watching. I was like, this guy's really good. When he at these shows, I feel like I know him.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What do you think about the suburbs?
In general, Applebee's is
Yeah.
sick. I love an Uno.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a good
99 is my
Chips
jam.
and-
Yep.
chips and salsa from Chili's is bomb. And I only ask that because, as a child of the suburbs, it was like those shows, the church venue, the Knights of Columbus shit. And I
Yeah, I was
know
like,
there are still a handful of places outside of the city, down, in my neck of the woods here, that they're not advertised. I'm not seeking them out. I'm not going to any of these places anymore, but I'm just curious if
I'm
you
happy you
know of
brought this
anything,
up
or
though, because like
Yeah.
growing up, like I remember vividly like going with my dad to these shows, Knights of Columbus, the church shows, whatever place in Norwood you were always at. There was a lot of just like
Norwood, I think what was it, Norwood Elks?
Legion.
Oh, American Legion.
Oh, the Legion! I can't believe we
Norwood
left the
American
Legion.
Yeah, right by the
Yes.
Domino's there. Yeah.
So like there was so many of those shows that I was going to when I was like 8, 9 years old. you know?
Yeah.
And then when I finally got to high school, there was a few that we went to, like Mansfield YMCA or the Holiday Inn or something like that. A few of those, but not
Oh,
as consistent as like
a
what I had
Holiday
gone to like
Inn.
your shows early on.
Honestly,
So
that
that's something I
scene
never really
was.
got. It was pretty evident that I didn't have that though when I was going through like the high school,
Mhm.
years.
I mean, being my age now, I can probably be like, easily be like, well, those don't exist anymore. They could, but I can also look that scene we had from 2002 or one. Let's say just 2001 until about 2000 fucking 9 whatever 10. It was a good decade of like we were playing. Even if we go to like mid 2000, right? So you had Strutter that turned into Strutter and Fake
These are
ID
these are
that turned.
bands.
Yeah, these are bands from the scene in Franklin, Walpole, Norway. This is like this small little thing, right?
Yeah.
Out of that came Boys Like Girls, the Receiving End of Sirens, the Rocket Summer, like these
Vanna.
Vanna,
Oh,
Therefore I
geez.
Am.
All bands I don't care
We
for,
all
but
played together.
understandable.
Right. We all played. I don't care for any of them.
Yeah.
We we played together all the time in this small
Oh,
scene.
yeah.
These were the bands. Like
Mm,
that's and I don't I think there's something to be said that's positive about how cool that was, that it was literally just a cluster of small suburban towns like nowhere in Massachusetts,
mm,
that these bands played fucking Elks Lodges, American Legions every weekend, all the time, the same bands playing together. And you have these bands that came out of it,
mm.
like they
Yeah.
got fucking international recognition after playing in front of 25 kids at the American Legion every weekend.
Yeah.
And that was the suburban scene, and that's what we had. And I don't think that you'll find that now. You
I
can't
would
even find it in
imagine that
Boston.
there's
Why the
some
fuck?
semblance of it somewhere.
I
Maybe not
defy you to find that band. Find that next band that comes out of Walpole, Massachusetts.
Walpole. Oh man, it's funny because they were always when I was in junior high and high school, we would go. I grew up in Rainham, so we would go, to a handful of places in Taunton, and it was always the same fucking bands over and over again. And like there was this band Kitty Carryall that was supposed to be like the next big thing. They were like a, not quite a metal band, but
Yeah.
they sucked. Like they were annoying, and I didn't care for them. But every fucking local show, they were at the top of the bill. So if you wanted to see anybody else, you're going to see Kitty Carryall and your friend's band, who is the first band. So that suburban scene I have always found very interesting, and I think it's the kind of, because you always still hear, like for example, a good friend of mine, his son and one of his good friends, and they have like a singer who's like my age in his 40s apparently, um and then they have a bass player who's just another like friend of a friend. They just recorded a couple of songs, and it's terrific. But they don't really practice anywhere. They're not playing out anywhere. They just kind of record music and put it out.
I
So
think that's kind of
that's
yeah,
as
that's
close as to the suburban scene as you'd see, I
I
think,
wonder
anymore.
if, and I could hypothesize that this might be a result of the home recording thing. Like if like you don't have a lot of garage bands, you
Yeah.
have more laptops.
Hmm.
People are, whether it doesn't matter music, if it's fucking EDM or if it's, I'm literally recording, guitar and drum music with a laptop and not
Yeah.
rehearsing. Like I
Right.
think that you didn't have you if you wanted to record an EP, you had to find that dude that your friend's cousin's fucking boyfriend knows who has Pro Tools in his shed, and
Pro Tools. Oh
you have to
Jesus.
go.
Pro Tools. We'd
you
buy. I remember we bought a like an 8-track Tascam recorder back in the
Oh,
day.
oh, it was the best. And you had the return to zero button, RTZ.
That was the name of the band at one point. Return to
RTZ.
Zero.
You fucking. That's like that band Crossfade. Oh, they recorded their album all by themselves. Oh, they're called Crossfade. I wonder where they got that.
Where they got that from?
The guy with the mouse was like, should I crossfade this? Wait. What'd you just say? What'd you say?
Yeah. What a great name. That was one of I would say at least 30 names for the band.
That's way better than Reverb.
Pro Tools, though. Ooh, man, I can't imagine. I can't imagine some of the shit that me and my friends would have done with Pro Tools. I mean, that would have been.
Pro Tools
we had to physically go to a studio, pay this fucking guy who was sitting behind, pushing buttons and, oh, how's that? That sounded like a happy mistake in there. You want to keep it? No, dude, that was fucking awful.
Yeah. He's leaned way back in his studio chair. You think it's gonna break, and he kind of you can tell he like wants to smoke a cigarette because he's tapping the thing.
He's going crazy.
Yeah,
and the guy that owns the place won't let him smoke in the studio, so he's
like, "That's my SSL. You can't." He's tapping the console like a fiend.
Yeah.
All right, Lenny, get the fuck out there. Yeah.
You mentioned Boston Calling, right?
Yeah.
And I'm curious your thoughts on this because I saw the lineup and I know like 8 bands out of the entire 3-day event. I'm curious what you both think about.
Dude.
Okay, thank you. That was one question. I'm curious what you both think about the lineup, and then I'm also curious as to, with the exception of the huge bands, how do you think that? I mean, you've already talked about the promoters and how much they suck. I'm just kind of curious as to how you think some of these smaller bands find their way onto the lineup.
Well, yeah, I was saying earlier, I had my buddy who's been getting one of his artists on the bill. This is the second year in a row, so that's been awesome. As far as
how did he do it? Like, is there like?
I really want to ask him. Like, I feel like he is grinding and everything. Yeah,
yes,
you're in a band, Donny.
That's what. Yeah, I don't want to come off of that vibe. Like, hey, so you want to get us on there or something?
I mean, you could dance around it. Hey,
like, where's your music? Well, Jake's mixing it.
I usually just just hey, happy for you and everything, and I'll if I go, I'll go see them. But and looking at the lineup right now, and like. Overall, like it's not something I would go crazy for. I think maybe I could pick a day and go to one of these things and go see some of the bands that I like. But as far as like the whole weekend goes, I don't think there's enough for me there. I mean, I'd love to see the Foo Fighters, but then like that's one night. But then I want to see Bleachers on a different day. So like there's some like overall like the lineup's good, but I think when it spreads out, like some of your bands sort of. You lose some bands on different days, so it kind of you either go 3 days or, or else you're not getting the full experience that you want.
Q-Tip Bandits are playing Saturday night. The Q-Tip Bandits.
Yeah. Sure. Actor Observer.
But I mean, like then I wouldn't want to give up Foo Fighters. I don't know. I just gotta like figure out which day I want to go and kind of like weigh them out.
I gotta be honest, man.
By all 3 days.
I'd love to see Alanis Morissette.
You never seen her? Oh man.
No, I
think I saw her. No, I think I saw her on the actual
Jagged Little Pill tour
for Jagged Little Pill. I think I saw her then. Yeah.
You sick.
That was back when Taylor Hawkins was the drummer for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, did your theory hold up from the last pod where you thought Josh Freese was gonna step in for this show?
That was just an assumption I made just because.
I don't know if
is on the bill.
I'll go beyond that. Wild, right? Not Josh Freese. I'm gonna say Matt Sorum.
Of
Guns N' Roses fame steps in of the cult. Matt Sorum steps in.
Old. I mean, is he doing anything now?
I don't.
I
think
mean, he
that's what
still
I'm
plays
thinking
for
either.
Guns N' Roses, right?
Is he? I don't think he's
Maybe.
Guns N' Roses drummer. Is he right now?
No, I don't fucking know. Who knows?
Hold on, I'm gonna go
Oh,
grab a
wow,
book.
that's interesting. All right, that is out for left field. I wonder if there's
One sec.
odds on that one. No,
If
take
he
your time.
does Foo Fighters, Freeze, he's also he's done Paramore too. So he's got literally all three headliners. If we
Has
did
he
Foo
really?
Fighters. Yeah,
That
he's got
guy's
all
been
of
in every fucking band. In fact, he's been in too many bands.
them. He's like the most famous drummer you don't know. Or I think of like
Right?
we're
Okay.
talking about this like last family party, like the Wrecking Crew, like the band
Mhm.
who just did a bunch of like legendary albums, but like
Yeah.
nobody knows who they are. Like they did
Nobody
Pet
knows who they
Sounds.
are.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
come and
exactly.
did it like yeah, that's pretty much Josh Freese.
Hmm. I wonder. Again, that was a random throw it out there. Not nearly as random as Matt Sorum, but
Not that random.
I think it's kind of random.
What if they have Taylor Hawkins' son come out on tour and play like 2 or 3 songs or whatever?
The thing of it is, all the shows they're playing are over the summer, so it's not as if he's going to be missing any schooling.
Right.
Whether or not his mother is keen to him touring in a rock band at 16, 17 years old. I don't know. I mean, the tribute shows, he was terrific. I thought
I
he
have
was
a
very
feeling
good.
Uncle Dave has a lot of influence on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Uncle Dave.
probably. I would imagine. But, I don't know. Jeez. It was interesting. All right. So that's kind of my feelings on that. And same, they're very similar to yours. So I'm not overly surprised by that. But, and then I guess my final thing is you've already brought it up, but in terms of what's coming, you mentioned the release, and I'm obviously we're waiting on Jake. You should have Jake listen to the show so that he can hear when I say hurry the fuck up, Jake, because I really want to hear these songs. But give me an idea of what I should expect from the new music.
It's pretty pop punk. I wish there was a way for me to play it on here. I could send you the clips.
Yeah, it would probably sound terrible if you did.
I could send you an MP3 of the first edit, and you could clip that in right here.
Tonight we know exactly where to go, but we never expected it to be like this, and we know we're always on, we're always ready for
Okay. I'll fuck that up, but okay. I'll try it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just
So
you've already said that you're proud of him. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is, is this something that you think could, I guess, move you guys in a different direction? Something that you think can have some greater exposure for yourselves moving forward.
it all depends, man. Exposure is such a weird thing these days. How to get it
Mm.
and what the results are, and it's it kind of goes all the way back to what we were saying, like as far as the click, like there's so much music being released in Boston, and you only hear about a little bit of it from these blogs, and it's like dig a little deeper, guys. Like do a
So
little
maybe you
homework,
should
do a
just
little
start
fucking
your own
research.
blog, Bobby. Why don't you start your own blog?
That's a great idea. I think
Well,
I'm
and,
really fucking good at it.
and to get
There you go.
found is a totally different way nowadays. It's not like, local band. I'm sure they are, but like you don't just go and tour across country to get yourself heard. There's a whole
People
like
can't afford to
promotion
fucking do
strategy.
that.
That too. And
No,
like
Christ,
it's
no.
you're going through some grueling tour days with like no money. Like all when you can do a lot of this, through social media in different ways. So yeah, it's just I think it's a totally different. It's evolved into something totally different of how to get heard nowadays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some would say devolved. Everyone's you've
I would. I
gone
mean, and
deep.
I would totally agree. I would totally agree. Yeah, I would totally agree. Fucking moron.
But it kind of is
Uh,
like like you do this shit at home, you record it at home, you're trying to cut costs, and okay, now we have songs. Now what? Well,
now what?
can't go practice because everything's shut down. We can't practice. You got to play. No, I live in an apartment. I live in an apartment. I have kids. Okay, great. So we can't rehearse. Okay, can we get a show? Maybe if we find a place to rehearse underground somewhere where no one can hear us and they have electricity. Well, I don't know anybody who promotes shows anymore. Oh fuck. Well, what do we do? Call O'Brien's. It's really it seems difficult. Some people make it look fucking easy. You just click a button and you pay $10 and you get a boost on Facebook. I don't know how that works for other people, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm jealous of other cities who have a scene, in this Boston scene to me just kind of seems dog shit. And I'm sure if
Why not move?
fuck that shit. I got a
That's
job.
awesome.
I got a job, bitch. I gotta pour beers for people, man. I gotta pour beers for rich people in fucking Back Bay.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, we'll plug that. Where do you pour beers in Back Bay?
Parish Cafe, come get a Zuni roll.
Oh, all right. Noted.
Yeah.
Noted.
I'm your
all right,
bartender.
You guys are terrific. This was fun. I appreciate it.
Hope this is good radio because
Listen, you're on my show, so it's crap. But I enjoyed it, and as I've said 1,000 times on my show, that the only reason I do it is because I enjoy it, and so this was very enjoyable. And I thank you both very much.
I enjoy it also.
For taking time out of, like, I don't know, usually Tuesdays aren't good for you with tacos, and so I was really afraid that it was going to be like chicken Alfredo Thursday or some shit.
Well, we have exhausted
the
taco theme, so it's called Tasty Tuesday these days. So this
tasty
yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah, this past Tuesday we had beet burgers.
Fucking hate beets. Hate beets.
You should try a beet burger. You think
Visceral hate of beets. The fuck is a beet burger? Honestly,
I'll tell you what. So
I want to talk pretentious, Bobby. Beet burgers?
I didn't fucking make them.
You
know who made them?
Though, didn't you?
That son of a bitch, Jake. You should have been mixing the goddamn quiet
Fucking
violence.
Jake. Oh, you know what I didn't get to bring up, and I don't know why this just popped into my head, but I need you both to get your mother to call in and complain again because
how'd that go?
It was awesome. Loved it.
She told us the subject, and I was like, that's pretty good.
It was great. And honestly, it made perfect sense, and
Oh yeah,
it was
it's back in
terrific.
discussion. We were talking about at Christmas, like how that shit goes. Yeah, I don't want to hear shit, especially off like people who. Oh man, I have a friend who loves EDM,
Oh,
and
well, he shouldn't be your friend.
he love the kid to death, but he loves EDM, and he knows I don't like it, and he'll be
Yeah.
like dude, I gotta show you this thing. It's so it's on SoundCloud. It's 40 minutes in. Let me just listen to this, and it's on his phone. So all I'm hearing is. And I'm like, I can't hear the bass. What's the point of listening to this music if it's on your fucking iPhone? It doesn't make sense to
On
me.
SoundCloud,
On
because
SoundCloud.
we know SoundCloud is the epitome of quality
Yeah.
sound.
All I can hear is digital sibilance, and it's not making me happy.
And then it always
No.
ends with, "What? Still nah? All right."
Yeah.
Cool.
Nah, that was dope.
No, that sounds just as shitty as all the other times you've tried to fucking play this crap for me.
I respect
You'd
what
think
you love,
you'd
man, but
learn
I
by
just
now,
don't
buddy.
love it. Stop pushing it
Yeah.
on me.
No shit. All right. So again, thank you both very much. This was very fun.
Thank
I'm
you.
very much looking forward to the music. So please, Jake needs to fucking hurry up and get this shit together. Enough with the beat burgers. Nobody cares. Put the music together, get it out,
I
and
think we're mixing next
let's
Tuesday,
do it.
so hopefully in 2 weeks we'll have something out.
See you next
I'm
Tuesday.
marking it down. There you
See you
go.
next Tuesday.
Fucking A, Jake. Boys, thank you. I really do appreciate
Thank
it. Thank
you.
you so much, both of you. This was fun.
Always glad to
Talk
do it.
soon.
All right.
Alrighty. Ta
Over and
ta.
out.
All right, so that'll do for this these oh, fuck. Oh my god. This week's episode. Thank you as always for listening. It's greatly appreciated. All two of you who have come by to listen to this crap. I'm freezing cold right now. I'm fucking frozen in this fucking shed. Oh my god. You can go to the Twitter page at Complaints Pod, the Instagram page at Complaints Pod. I do have a fake Facebook page, but fuck Facebook or fact Facebook, whatever. I don't know what I was gonna say there. I have a YouTube page that I don't do anything with. I have a Twitch channel that I can't figure out. Please call the complaint line 617-657-4736. Call in, leave a voicemail. What's on your mind? I'm having to save one that I received earlier from P1 caller Heather. That'll come up next week. My apologies. Nobody wants 2 hours of this fucking shit. So you get, an hour-long interview, and then that's it. You gotta wait till next week. What else do I have? I think that's it. Oh, you can find me on Post at Complaints Pod, Mastodon at Complaints Pod. I have so much goddamn shit that I wanted to talk about this week, and that's why I'm kind of really, really upset that I'm freezing cold. Good thing though, it'll be somewhat, timely next week. Not all of it. I was going to talk about the Cowboys being dumb, but that's a year-long conversation. Hardy har har. But anyways, that's it. Listen, so please tell your friends, tell your moms. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Godspeed. Ta ta.